We're going to talk today about the CIO's Guide to AI Security. So we are going to set some context before we go into securing AI. So we'll talk about how CIOs select new technologies, the AI landscape, at least a perspective of it. And then we're going to talk about integrating AI into both things you use and things you buy and things you build, protecting your data, and protecting from AI attacks, and then also using AI to protect from attacks. So let's talk about how CIOs select technology investments. And there are obviously dozens of things that CIOs think about when selecting new technologies. But I'm going to talk about 4 of the most important things. And there are only 3 on the slide, but I'm going to talk about 4 of them. So first of all, strategic alignment. So how does this technology align to your IT strategy? Is it something that will be easy to integrate? Is it something difficult to integrate? Is there maybe another solution that would meet your needs that is easier to integrate into your strategy? But you probably have a 5-year roadmap with a annual plan. How can you fit into that? And then secondly is customer requirements. And you might say, aren't those the same things? But many of us know that customers ask for things that are very different than what's on your roadmap, that's different from your strategy. And so is it a need or is it something they just want? And if it's something they really need, you're going to have to accommodate those customer requirements as well. Third, we've got technology maturity. So is this ready for prime time, right? Is this technology that you're thinking about integrating ready to be in your enterprise? And that is matched with risk appetite. So how much risk are you willing to take on? Maybe it's not a very mature technology. You're willing to take that risk because it's critical, or maybe there are other areas in which it's going to create a risk. And are you comfortable with the risks that that technology is going to bring you before you make that investment? So we could talk all day about different ways that CIOs evaluate technology risks, but those are 4 of, I think, the key ones that most CIOs think about. So let's talk about more specifically how we integrate new technologies into the security ecosystem. And again, we could talk about dozens, hundreds of things that you're going to do when you think about when you integrate new technology into security. So in order to have a 30-minute webinar instead of a 3-day webinar, let's talk about some of these key things that CIOs and IT practitioners think about. So first of all, does it align with your architecture? We already said, we picked this because it's a strategic fit, but what about our architecture? Does it fit well? And if not, what do you need to change about the application or about your architecture or about the way you integrate it to make it work within your architecture and not make it be an ongoing challenge to you that gets in your way as you do other things? We often see people kludge things into architectures that become a real problem. So secondly, authentication. Does it integrate with your current authentication scheme? Is it FIPS 201 compliant if you're at that level of authentication? If you're using something else, does it meet those requirements? Does it have MFA? Does it support your single sign-on regime? Is it going to make authentication easy or hard, and how are you going to adapt to that? What's its cryptography? Does it have post-quantum cryptography? If it doesn't already, when will they have it? And is it modular? Can you pull out that cryptographic module and replace it with one that is post-quantum capable? I know we still think quantum's a ways away, but I think we're going to see quantum 2028, 2029. And in the meantime, if you're giving away your data with non-post-quantum encryption, people are going to be able to steal that from you. So be looking at what cryptography is in use. What's the data protection? What security controls are in place to protect the data? Are they actually there, or does the vendor just tell you they're there? And how do you go ahead and implement those? What's the supply chain, right? Who are you buying from? Who are they buying from? What are the components? Are they well maintained? We often see open source components that aren't well maintained. What are the risks that the supply chain brings in? What are the usage policies you're going to put in place to secure this? What expectations are you setting with your team? And then also, shadow IT. Counterintuitively, local IT systems could impact your implementation of this AI solution. So be thinking about that as well. So let's ground ourselves a little bit as well in the AI landscape we're talking about. There are lots and lots of definitions of AI, right? We could discuss multiple ways to define AI. But we're just going to talk about these three things because I think they're what's most applicable to our discussion, right? We have large language models, which is what most people talk about most of the time. And those are the things that are, eating the internet, eating our power, our water, and, going to be the end of the world if you listen to some folks. I don't think it's the end of the world, but they are taking a lot of capacity. They are creating a number of problems out there, and they're also creating a number of solutions.